In this video, you will learn 3 ways how Amazon sellers could drastically improve their Amazon FBA ROI, return of investment, which is a performance measurement. Our guest today is Sam Kotch from AccrueMe. It's a company which helps Amazon sellers to grow by providing funds for their business. And this session is hosted by LISETT LEES. She works with different Amazon brands. And together with Sam, LISETT will be discussing the profit, the ROI, how Amazon sellers are calculating their performance, and what is the healthy ROI in Amazon FBA business. And if you like this conversation or hear something useful for your Amazon business, don't forget to click the like button below this video. It helps us a lot.
Hi Sam, happy to have you here today. For those who haven't met you yet, could you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the Amazon space?
Sure. So my name's Sam Kotch. I'm one of the partners of AccrueMe. And what we do at AccrueMe is we provide growth capital for Amazon sellers. And what we do is we double the amount of capital you have to invest in Amazon products. And we get in exchange a temporary share of the profit for as long as you're using our capital. And what makes us most unique is we don't require any payments, so you can use the capital to grow really quickly and keep investing it in your business.
Okay, cool. So today you will share some thoughts about return on investment when we are talking about Amazon business, because it's really important for the cash flow, for the funding as well. So I know you have a presentation for us as well. So let's go straight into that and see what you have for us.
First of all, thank you to the Orange Klik team and LISETT for the opportunity to talk to the Orange Klik audience. Happy to be here. So again, my name's Sam Kotch. I'm one of the partners of AccrueMe. And in this presentation, it's totally educational, and it's going to show you how you can drastically improve your Amazon FBA ROI. Now, whether you're a totally new seller that just got started on Amazon, you definitely want to pay attention so you get off to the right foot. Or if you're a multi-million-dollar Amazon seller, these are still great concepts for you to know. Make sure you're doing. That way you can increase your ROI and reduce your risk. Again, my name's Sam Kotch from AccrueMe, and with that, we'll get right in. So I'm one of the partners of AccrueMe. My background is in venture capital. I've built, operated, scaled many businesses in my career. Most notably now I'm working with Amazon sellers to partner with them, provide capital so they can grow really quickly. So a big thing that we always like to do is help sellers increase their ROI, because at AccrueMe, the better you do, the better we do. So it's totally aligned to help you do that. So here's what we're going to do. Number one, I always like to define what ROI is. So most people think ROI is just, how much I invested, how much I made back. And that is true. That is what ROI is. It's basically whatever in money you invested, what was your profit or return on that investment, right? So that's great. But the question is there a function of time? So when I talk to people, I always ask, well, what's your ROI for this month? And what they'll sometimes do is give me their ROI based on how much they invested in a product or a year. You have to know what time you're basing your ROI on so you can get a true sense of your financials and your business and how well it's doing. So ROI is definitely a function of time. What ROI really is what was your profit over your investment over a specific period of time? Making a profit on $10,000 in a year is different than making it in 1 month. So we're going to go into that and show you exactly how not only to make sure you're calculating your ROI correctly, but also increase it for your business. So here's an example. I always like to ask, well, would you rather have 100% ROI in 1 year or 50% turn every month? Now, some early stage business owners might just go for the 100% because it's the highest number, but really what you want to do, it's all about turn. In any business, it's about turning over inventory quickly, staying in stock, but that's totally true for Amazon sellers, just the way the business is in the marketplace. So simple example, let's say you have $10,000 invested in inventory. It takes you 1 year to sell through that $10,000 and you profit $10,000 on that inventory in a year. So that means your ROI would be 100% because you made $10,000 in a year. So a good return for anybody, but let me show you if you turn that over quickly, how much more money you could be making in your business. So the same $10,000 investment, except this time it's 3 months for you to sell through and you only make $5,000 in profit. Okay, so you made less profit in those 3 months, but you did that every quarter. So now you're really making $20,000 in a year because you're making $5,000 every quarter. Your ROI is 50% every quarter, and your total ROI for the year is 200% because you went from making $10,000 to $20,000. And the key to that was turn time. So you made less of an ROI, but you turned it over quicker which added up at the end of the year to be much higher. So it's all about turn, and that's the most also on Amazon, is turning over and staying in stock. So one thing we always say around here is don't trip over dollars or pennies. So if you're an Amazon seller, you probably have a VA or a few people that you're working with to help you optimize your business so you can focus on things that are more important, or you're working with tools and softwares that you're paying for, but it's increasing your ROI. You probably have some type of accounting platform, so you know your numbers. You have to know your numbers in any business. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. So you have to make smart decisions and don't focus on saving a few pennies and in turn trip over a few dollars. So what are the 3 most common ways that sellers decrease their ROI? I talk to a lot of sellers that are, whether it's wholesale, private label, and these always come up. Whether you're a totally new seller or really a big seller, these always come up. So 1, you buy too much inventory at once. In an effort to save a few dollars or pennies on a big order, a supplier will say, hey, buy 200,000 instead of 100,000 units, and I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a 5% discount. So most people think that that's a good idea. Now that increases your risk. A lot can happen in the marketplace over a given year or 6 months to sell out of that inventory, but also it's just not enough money for you to justify such a big investment. So don't buy too much inventory. We always suggest at AccrueMe buy 1, maximum 3 months inventory that you need so you can reduce risk, stay in stock, but you also can turn it over much quicker, because the key is turning over your inventory. The number 2 is slow shipping options. So this is mostly for private label sellers that get their product made in China or somewhere over there. And there's 2 options: air freight, which usually almost always costs more depending on what products you have, or what pretty much everyone does is the sea freight. And that's because it's much cheaper to send something on a boat than it is in air. And the big difference is if you send it via a plane, you get your inventory into Amazon in about a week or 2. If you send it on a boat, it takes 2 to 3 months. So a lot can happen in that 2 to 3 months. And again, there's all nuance to all of these, depending on your product, your supplier, your options. They're all different, but in general, these do hold true. So we've had a seller that we work with at AccrueMe that had one really great private label product. He was selling out like crazy. He made a ton of profit. He was ranked number 1 in the category, and he ran out of inventory. So instead of getting the product sent in over by plane, he did it by boat. 3 months later, he still doesn't have inventory in. His ranking went down. He's probably gonna have to invest a ton more getting back up to that level. And if he would have shipped it by air, at least he would have maintained his ranking. He might not have made as much of a profit, but he still would have been profitable, and his ranking wouldn't have sunk down. A ton of competitors came in. Let's see if he can even sell that new product, but we're gonna make sure that we help him get him to that next level. The third one is they divert cash flow. So you have to know your numbers. You have to make sure you're making an ROI. The worst thing you can do is take on capital, especially some of the options that are available to you as Amazon sellers, and not knowing you're making money. But basically, you take out a loan, you put it in and do the same mistakes that we're talking about here, putting in a product that's not moving as quickly or doing a slow shipping option, and it just compounds the mistake, because now you have monthly payments that are reducing your cash flow and making it much harder for you to run your business. So here's the problem and solution. Problem 1, too much inventory. Again, a lot of sellers will buy 6 months to save 5 to 10% on their cost. This ties up cash for 6 months that you can't invest in new products. It also increases your risk, because a lot can happen to one product in 6 months. The competitors can come in, problems with suppliers. So again, if you sell that product and it makes 100% ROI, you make 100% in 6 months because you invested, you went all in on one product. Now the solution is for you to only buy 3 months worth of inventory. And again, even if you have to pay a premium and pay a few dollars extra, we've run the numbers here. Paying a premium is better to get less of the inventory. It reduces your risk, and you can turn it over quickly, and you can always reorder. So now you have a 90% ROI over 3 months. You can invest that in different products. You just reduce your risk in general, or you can try to expand your marketing or whatever, but you have more capital and you're not tied up in one product. So now you reinvest after 2 months and you see how the market's doing and how your product's selling. You can earn that ROI of 90% again. So now you've increased, instead of 6 months and 100%, because you turned it over quicker and invested less, your return on your investment actually went up. You can see how it went to 180% because you made 90% every 3 months instead of 100 every 6 months. Slow shipping options. Again, this is really the biggest problem that we found for sellers, is they take the cheaper shipping option, by going on a boat from China, it takes, if you're lucky, 2 months. Usually it takes 90 days to get it manufactured and sent over boat, to save 5 to 20%. And again, the product depends if it's a heavy product, light product. But by taking the slow boat, your stuff's gone for 3 months. If you ship it by air, you have it in 1 month, it's ready to be sold. You can maintain your listing, just like the example I was giving you. And even though it might be a little bit more, you're reducing your risk, you're staying in stock, and you're turning over the inventory faster by having it in Amazon, okay? So the solution is get a faster shipping option. Again, it depends on your business and your product, but in almost every case, it's worth spending that additional money, especially if you're private label, to get it into Amazon, to maintain your listing, to reduce your risk, and not put all of your stuff on a boat coming from China. And you can see the way the ROIs work for that. So here's another big one, is diverting cash flow. So a lot of people, just because of the way that Amazon works, they don't make payments for every 2 weeks. They hold a big reserve, especially if you're a private label seller, that you take out these high interest, fast payback loans. And it usually is just to cover a big inventory purchase from China, or to buy that one big product that you were looking for from a US supplier. The problem is these loans typically have like a 3 to 12 month payback, and they require monthly payments, if not bi-monthly payments. So constantly cash is coming out. If you have a bad month like we had during COVID, that can really put a strain on your cash flow in your business. And a $100,000 loan can require anywhere between $8,000 to $35,000 a month in paying it back. Now, if you're not making revenue, if you're not generating a profit, it's going to be very hard for you to pay back. And it's very hard to make a profit when your product's stuck on a boat coming from China and you're not going to have it for 3 months. And you can't reinvest that capital. So it's always good to have your products come quickly and not divert cash flow. The solution: you're a sophisticated business owner. If you're watching this YouTube channel, you need to understand all your financing terms, understand your options, and look for one that's going to match your goals of increasing your profit and increasing your revenue in your business. Don't use financing that's going to require, monthly payments, or that you can't afford, or you don't know how you're going to pay it back. Look for ones that aren't going to require monthly payments, ones that are going to be business friendly, that are only going to make money if you make money. And you should only use fast payback financing. We all know the ones that are out there. If you're going to make at least $10,000 a month, so you can, because you're going to have to make very big payments. So again, these are just very high level general examples. They don't apply for all businesses, but they typically do. So here's the summary. This is, if you take away anything from this slide, 3 ways to increase your ROI on Amazon today. 1, place smaller, regular orders. Buy 3 months worth of stuff, not 6 months or a year. It's going to reduce risk. You're going to be able to turn it over quicker, and you're going to make a higher ROI on that investment. 2, always consider the time when investing. You want to be making sure that am I making 100% in a year or 100% every 6 months? It makes a big difference for as you're analyzing your numbers and growing your business and deciding which products to invest more heavily in and to invest more marketing dollars in. Understand all of your financing options. If you're growing, if you're profitable, you need to continue to scale. Otherwise, your competitors will come in and scale and take away your market share. Know your options and pick ones that match what your goals are. If you're looking to build a long-term business, pick a long-term solution. If you're looking for a short-term fix, go for a short-term fix, but know what you're looking to accomplish and then know all the options. And then just really quickly, what we do at AccrueMe and how this all relates, we'll double your capital so you can buy more inventory, buy more diversified inventory, and grow even quicker. You can grow your cash flow. We don't require any payments, so you can keep it in the business and grow really, really quickly. We have a very fair payment structure. You only pay us if you make a profit in a month. If you don't make anything, you don't pay us. So in the few months where you're waiting for inventory or you have a problem, if you don't make anything, we don't make anything. And lastly, work with the business veterans at AccrueMe. Myself, all of our partners, we've run, scaled, sold big businesses. We understand how finance and how business in general works, and we love helping our partners grow and make more profit. Check out the app.accrueme.com and you can set up a call with me. And I'd love to, even if you don't need funding right now, I love talking to entrepreneurs. Set up a call with me. Love to get on a phone call with you and learn more about your business.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. So I guess my first question is, in your experience and in your opinion, do Amazon sellers mostly focus on ROI or on their profit margins?
That's a great question. So a lot of the times for some of the earlier sellers, they don't even truthfully don't even really know their numbers. They might not even be using an inventory labs. They'll probably just have a spreadsheet. And we always say step number one, get an inventory labs or a shopkeeper or something that is going to track all of this. So you know if I'm making money or I'm not. And half the time they put it in and they're a little bit, surprised at how much those Amazon fees were or how much it was. So, but for the more sophisticated sellers, they know, what their profit is, and they focus on their profit and not so much the return on investment. And then as we work with them, we try to get them to, really focus on, you're putting money into this product. It's an investment. How much are you making on it? And how long is it taking you to make that ROI? So I would say a combination of both, but mostly profit.
Okay, but overall, how do you feel? Are Amazon sellers taking a good care of their financial side, or there is still like a lot of learning and education or educating needed in order to keep those numbers correctly, to analyze all of the different aspects of calculating the profit margins, the ROI as well?
Yeah, so I think now there's a lot of services and a lot of software that's available. So a lot of them are keeping track of their profit, and they know they are. And a lot of the ones that we talk to that are looking for capital, they really have, they figured it out. They're using a platform. They know I'm going to invest in this product. This is my ROI. They totally get it. And most people are now, just because it's, $20 to $30 for a seller labs account or whatever it is. So most people do know their numbers, and if they don't, they unfortunately find out the hard way that they probably should have invested $20 a month to know their numbers.
Okay, so it's really worth investment.
100%.
Okay, cool. So what is like considered an unhealthy ROI for an Amazon business, if there is something you can say like this?
Right. So it really depends on whether your strategy is wholesale, if it's retail arbitrage, if it's private label. So we see private label people doing usually a minimum if it's like 30% ROI. So they have really high returns, but there's also much more risk. And we try to explain that exact example of, hey, depending on the product, some things are so heavy, it doesn't make sense to ship via air, but always try to get the stuff in stock so you don't reduce your listing and all that. And then for wholesale, we see it as like a 10% ROI and sometimes lower. Maybe it's a 5% monthly ROI. And if you're doing that 5% per month, you're going to have a very high ROI at the end of the year. And it's all about turning it over very quickly for any business, but especially Amazon.
Okay, so the speed is really important, and like keeping everything rolling all the time.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So are there any particular strategies as well to achieve a higher return on investment? I don't know if you have anything, any tips, or have you been working with sellers who are using some kind of strategies?
Yeah, great question. So I would just say quickly, for the profit and loss sellers we work with, what we always suggest is, even if you have a great private label, go into wholesale. Find one or two good wholesale accounts in the US, because that can balance out your cash flow, because the private label is going to take some time to get it in. Go for wholesale, so that way you have more steady, consistent, lower margin, lower ROI, but still consistent cash flow, keeping the business going. And then for wholesale accounts, what we always recommend is buy from a lot of suppliers, buy a diverse amount, buy a few $1,000s from a supplier at a time, and buy 10 products instead of one. Because the more diverse you are, you're going to have some winners and some losers, but you always have to watch the downside, and the upside takes care of itself. So always just don't go all in on one product. We've seen horror stories where someone buys, whether it's private label or wholesale, $20,000, $50,000 of one product, a competitor comes in or they shut down the listing, and now you're out that money. So always be diversified. It's better to buy a little bit every 2 weeks than all in 1 month, and buy from a lot of suppliers.
Okay, that's definitely a good tip for the viewers as well. So once more, if anybody has any questions regarding to your services, then what's the best way to reach out to you? And also, could you once more explain what it is, what you do, and how do you help Amazon sellers?
Sure. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in growth capital, or even just setting up a call with AccrueMe and myself and our partners, we're all veteran business owners. We've scaled businesses. We're all entrepreneurs. Go to app.accrueme.com, fill out a few. It takes about 2 minutes, just general information that you can set up a call with me on my Calendly. I'll get on a call for a half an hour, whatever you guys want, or you can just get a proposal. And what we do at AccrueMe is we found that Amazon sellers are generating a great ROI, and they're all entrepreneurs looking to grow. We looked at all the options out there, and we started AccrueMe to help Amazon sellers grow. So we get a temporary share of the profit. We only make money when you make money. We double your capital, and we don't require any payments. We're totally new. We're totally different than anything else that's out there. And right now we have $100 million to invest in Amazon sellers. We're looking to get out there and work with profitable Amazon sellers that are private label, wholesale, retail arbitrage. If you're profitable, we'd love to talk to you and show you how much we can invest. So just go to app.accrueme.com.
Okay, cool. Your approach is definitely unique. So thank you very much, Sam, for joining me today, sharing some great tips and information about ROI for Amazon businesses. And we wish good luck in your business.
Thank you, Lizette. Appreciate it.
I hope this video was useful for you, and if you would like to get in touch with AccrueMe company and get some additional funds for your Amazon FBA business, check the links below to their website and to their contact details. And now I would like to invite you to watch other video with AccrueMe where they are talking more about their services and how they help Amazon sellers.